Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel, Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are in my video. If you enjoy it, please tap the like button and subscribe. You can support me even more by clicking the join button below. Thank you, and now, let's watch my video. There are celebrities who live online like it's their second home. Every latte, every stretch at the gym, every sunset, posted. And then there is Baris Arduc, a leading man who commands screens, premieres, and magazine covers, yet slips through the fingers of the internet like smoke, appearing only in rare, meaningful flashes that send shockwaves every time. What unfolded on November 24th, Teachers' Day, is the clearest, most stirring reminder that when someone who almost never posts chooses to speak, even quietly, the world listens. That day, with a calm, short, deeply respectful note, he stepped into the digital light, and it was enough to spark a collective heartbeat across timelines. The point is not simply that he posted, it's the weight of his silence, the symbolism of that choice, and the emotion that reached teachers and fans alike. Why does someone so adored stand so far back from the spotlight of social media? What is hidden in the spaces between his posts? And how did this Teachers' Day greeting turn into a minor tremor across the internet? Today on Secrets Behind the Stars, we unspool the thread, context, clues, and the intentional quiet that has become Baris's most surprising superpower. When you hear the name Baris Arduc, you might immediately picture poise and intensity, a face that carries both warmth and reserve in a single glance. From his earliest roles, he shaped an aura that's unmistakable. In a world where many turn daily routines into constant content, Baris chose restraint. He doesn't flood feeds with selfies. He doesn't narrate every hour. He doesn't post because a clock says it's time to post. And somehow, that absence keeps him more present than ever. Each time he breaks the silence, one frame, a line, a greeting, everything lights up. It's not because of a flashy edit or a sculpted photo shoot. It's because the moment is rare. Fans don't treat it like an update. They treat it like an event. A gift. A clue. A door that opens and then gently closes again. His turn as SRF Tech in the series SRF Rüya intensified the intrigue around him. The character, confident, compelling, layered, gave viewers the sense of a man who can say much without saying anything at all. That same magnetism, that economy of expression, traveled into the digital sphere. Followers began to read his posts with the same eyes they used for SRF Tech. An elegant mystery, a seriousness cut with tenderness, a dignified reserve that makes everything feel deliberate. So when November 24th arrived and, almost without fanfare, he posted a message to teachers, the reaction was immediate. For many, it felt like SRF Tech himself had stepped out of the frame to salute them. And there's more to this fascination than a singular performance. Part of the conversation around him has always included Elson Sangu. A partnership that captured attention from the very beginning for its chemistry, talent, and grounded charm. Yet even with such curiosity surrounding them, Baris remains careful. Protective. Intentional. He spares his private life from the conveyor belt of content and in doing so, shields not only himself but Elson as well. What he does share is scarce, thoughtful, and curated, like carefully chosen pages from a book he doesn't want to bend. This approach yields two powerful results. It preserves their sanctuary, and it turns every post into an occasion. For an audience saturated by overexposure, this discipline feels like fresh air. While others broadcast morning to midnight stories, while workouts and wardrobe fittings become daily episodes, Baris prefers the unposted moment. The strategic hush. And that hush is loud. Where some risk fading out by going quiet, he has built a presence from less. A new model, slim, precise, meaningful. When he shows up, people stop. When he writes, the question echoes, why now? When he shares a message, it carries the gravity of choice. His accounts have become more than timelines, they are curated rooms where silence and intention meet. November 24th was one of those rooms. Teachers' Day often brings waves of tributes, lovely and well-meant. Quotes. Throwbacks. formal statements. Few leave a mark. Baris did, with a message as calm as a breath and as personal as a hand over the heart. The effect didn't come from filters or spectacle. It came from him, and from the simple fact that he rarely speaks online. For Baris Arduc to post on Teachers' Day is an honor, some teachers wrote, their words carried and shared. It feels sincere because he doesn't post just to be seen. Another noted, it felt like a private greeting. What might be routine for others became, in his hands, a meaningful gesture. Digital pundits often talk about the economy of scarcity. The rarer the moment, the greater the anticipation, the less frequent the message, the more deeply it lands. That's exactly what his followers live through. Each appearance turns into a shared vigil of comments and theories, a burst of energy that's both intimate and vast. This is the true strength of his method. And Teachers' Day proved it once more. Even without constant stories, even without a daily feed, even without turning life into a stream, Baris has built an online phenomenon. Not the usual kind, not noisy or omnipresent, but precise and influential. A phenomenon measured not in volume but resonance. Small but powerful. Rare but unforgettable. Minimal but significant. This style shapes how his community relates to him and keeps his presence iconic without ever feeling overexposed. The November 24th greeting didn't just collect likes, it sparked a discussion about what it means to post with purpose. Teachers, who so often receive mass-produced words on commemorative days, felt seen in a different way. The result was immediate, a cascade of gratitude, a ripple of shares, an unexpected viral swell, and a renewed tenderness for the man behind the roles. All from one measured post. With each careful appearance, he reminds us, you don't need constant noise to make a lasting sound. You need meaning, intention, a core of authenticity, and a strategy that trusts the audience to listen in the quiet. And he understands this language fluently. Of course, the fascination isn't only about scarcity, it's about the story people project onto a silent space. With Elson Sangu by his side, independent, admired, honest in her craft, their balance becomes part of the draw. They are both visible and private, present and protective. When she posts, it's on her terms. When he appears, it's on his. Separate voices, shared values. The world peers in, but the door doesn't swing wide open. It opens just enough. Many fans say that's exactly why a simple greeting from him can move them so deeply. It feels unscripted, though crafted. It respects the day and the people it honors without using the moment to sell or perform. It tastes like sincerity rather than a deadline met. And something else happens every time, people pay closer attention to the words. Without a cascade of daily content surrounding it, a single sentence takes up more space. A line about the teachers who shaped us, a thank you aimed at those who hold classrooms together, it stands alone, speaking softly but clearly. That power is unusual in the age of endless scrolls. Scarcity is the easy word, but what sits underneath is trust, the trust that the audience will wait, that they will listen, that they will not be spoon-fed every hour. The trust that intention can still move a crowd. If you track his digital rhythm over time, you notice the pattern. Long stretches of quiet. Then a moment. Sometimes it's work, an image that hints at a set, a character, a posture that says more than a caption could. Sometimes it's personal, though gently so. And sometimes, like on Teachers' Day, it's a simple tribute that turns the spotlight outward. His portrayal of SRF Tech in SRF Ria strengthened this approach. The character's restraint and intensity taught audiences to read subtleties, that training carried into how they read Baris's posts. Even his silence seems to carry a tone. Fans fill in the blanks with care, not chaos. They analyze, yes, but with affection, not frenzy. And when Elson appears in the picture, whether in professional overlap or parallel, the attention doubles, yet the boundaries remain clear. That's not an accident. It's stewardship. The digital world often rewards speed and volume, but sometimes the most unforgettable gestures are slow and rare. The November 24th message was one of those. It reminded many of the teacher who changed their path, the classroom that felt like a second home, the person who believed in them before they believed in themselves. People wrote back with stories about a literature lesson, a science experiment, a quiet conversation after class. The post did not shout, yet it made room for a chorus. And that is what presence with intention can do. It doesn't demand attention, it invites it. It opens a space where people bring their own meaning. That's why, even with a minimal footprint, Baris's online steps leave deep marks. Every choice, what to share, what to withhold, how to honor someone other than himself, builds a narrative of respect. And in a time when feeds can feel crowded with performance, that respect reads as rare. Now it's your turn. Secrets Behind the Stars wants to hear from you. Do you think Baris is right to keep his distance from the daily churn of social media? Does his silence make him more magnetic, or would you rather see him post more often? How did his greeting to teachers on Teachers' Day land for you? Tell us in the comments, we're reading everything. And don't forget to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars for deep dives, thoughtful breakdowns, and the most intriguing stories from the world of entertainment. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.